Hello, hello. This is Traci Harrell, and welcome to Bigger Than Me. Each week, we focus on how to achieve your definition of success and happiness. On Bigger Than Me, we bring together a combination of ageless wisdom, the latest research, and engaging interviews with amazing people who are sharing their stories to help each of us achieve our full potential. Your journey to transformation begins right now. Let's do this. Let's do this, people. This is Traci Harrell, and you are watching or listening to It's Bigger Than Me. And I am so excited to be welcoming back family. Today we have visiting with us Bob and Diane Palmer. And I met you guys 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
At least 2 years ago.
2+, yeah.
2+ years ago.
Right.
And I met them at a book writing boot camp. So we started our journey at the same time, and it's just been amazing because when I first met you, you were talking about your book, and I was talking about what I was doing in this work, and we're both trying to help people live their best lives. So we automatically gravitated toward each other. I'd like for you to do me the favor of introducing yourself as if I didn't know you. Just you and me, baby. Tell us about who is Bob Palmer. You're a high-performance coach. I'd like for you to tell our audience what exactly is a high-performance coach. What makes you superior to a regular coach?
Well, I'm a certified high-performance coach, and the way I guess I like to frame it is the training that I've had and the work that I do is, you would equate it to the Navy SEALs.
I love it.
So it's more impactful. It moves you. If this is the kind of deal, if you don't want to get pushed, then you probably don't want me.
You don't want a
to be
high
your
performance coach.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
You want just somebody else who's going to listen to you and say, "How are you doing?"
Did you just say the Navy SEAls?
Yeah, it's
of coaching. I
Navy
love,
SEALs of
and let me
coaching.
just tell you, he's right. And when you said you shared a few things with me over the 2 years that we've met, and we're gonna peel back the onion on that.
Nice.
But I want to talk a little bit about your beautiful partner who's next to you. Lady Di is what I call her. Do you call her Lady Di?
I call her my lovely bride.
My lovely bride. That is right. I think I had you in my phone for a year as my lovely bride. I'm not even sure if I knew what your name was. I think it was.
We've had numerous people say, "Oh, and I suppose this must be your lovely bride," because that's how I typically talk about her to folks who don't know her.
And it's so beautiful because you love this woman.
Oh, she's great. I'd be, who knows where I'd be without her. She's the deal.
Miss Diane, would you introduce yourself, and then I'm going to have you pump up him a little bit more. He never talks about his Super Bowl ring. He never talks about his Emmy. Doesn't have an Emmy or a Grammy or some other multiple.
He has 4 Emmys. Yep.
4 Emmys, people. 4 Emmys. A Super Bowl ring for who do you support? There's a team in the Pacific Northwest that I love. Seahawks. There you go. Tell us, what do you do? I mean, come on. Fill in the gaps real quick because we got to get to the real work here. But I got to pump you up a little bit. There's a book. There's an Emmy. There's a Super Bowl ring.
There's some things.
There's some things.
Well, most of my background has been in broadcast.
Yes.
So I went away from kind of the daily broadcast a long time ago in my career, and then went into post-production and was an editor for a long time, and then directed. I worked for the Mariners. I've worked for the Sonics. I worked for everybody. And then, everybody just eventually my name gets passed around. Next thing you know, I'm working for the Seahawks. And they were kind enough. Our boss at the time, when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, pushed to get the group that worked the stadium because we control the crowd essentially, and that's what they use us for.
The big
on
boards,
the big boards in the stadium. So he said, hey, look, these guys are part of the deal. So they included us in ours. I call them Junior Jetson Super Bowl rings, but
they're the real deal.
But they're the deal, and they were kind enough to include us in that. So
that's awesome.
So it's great.
It is an amazing. So if there's any Seahawks watching, I have never been to a game. Uh, we'd love to have you come join us, and we'll talk about the energy that's there. I watch them, and I'm so amazed.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
the
right.
energy in the stadium
It's off the chain,
electric
and the
for-
boards
yeah.
really do drive a lot of the
Oh, yeah.
change. Now let's talk about your Emmy, and then we people. Let me just clarify why he's here. This is Bigger Than Me, as you know. I get a little carried away. This is Bigger Than Me. We focus on helping you to achieve your best life. This isn't about Bob. It's about how he can help you to achieve your goals. So the reason the show is called It's Bigger Than Me, it's bigger than him too. And let me tell you, what word did you have on the bracelet when I first met you that attracted me to you?
This bracelet right here, it says others.
And you pass them out.
Yeah.
Normally when he sees my wrist bare, he just pops one. Are you going into your pocket?
Let me see if I can find you one right here. Since you seem to have lost the others.
Thank you so much.
Well, and the reason we have that,
it says others, people. So to meet a guy who has that just attracted me because that's where my heart is. I know I was meant to help others. So tell me about this.
well, it came around because of what Di and I do and our love to serve other people and to help other people. For whatever it is that you're doing, we work our jobs to get a paycheck to finance our lives, but that isn't all the time what serves our intellect and what serves our heart. But sometimes we're able to do the two, and that's what we're doing together now. Is we're doing that. It's about others that we care about. It's about helping people. I became a coach to get people where they want to go. So many people are stuck in life, and they don't. Their dreams they're stifled. They had to put them on hold because they had to make rent. They had to put them on hold because something in the family happened, whatever.
Yes.
And next thing you know, 20 years has gone by,
Right.
and they forgot about their dreams because they don't feel like they can
Not if
reach
you're
them.
watching this show every week, because we challenge you, right? We challenge you to find out what is your purpose in life. I was just telling them about Oprah's latest book. It's called The Path Made Clear. Touch this book. It feels good. It's a lightweight,
It is
beautiful, colored, but she's focused on helping people to discover their path, their purpose in life. And I heard you just say, you do the work that serves your heart, the work that fills your soul, the work that makes you feel good, and you're on purpose. Right?
Well, when we have muscle testing that we do a lot of times at our workshops and things.
Yes.
So, and we'll have you think about something that where it only served you, and where you're at, and you think about that, whatever it was that only served you, and you have no strength. And then we'll have you think about something that served others, and you're strong as can be. We are stronger. We're more effective in what we do when we put others first. And that's really what it's about. It's not just about us. It's about others. And when we go through life and we help others and we leave, our mark is to make, leave the earth better than we found it, or leave somebody's life better than we found it. Then we're actually doing what we're here to do.
I'm sorry, people, but you'd think he was a plant, right? So, I didn't mention that you guys were on my first radio show. So I mentioned that I've been a part of the Hubbard Radio for 2 years, and you've been on my first radio show probably 5 times.
No, it just seemed like 5. This is our 3rd time with you, but you've been kind enough to invite us back. So
this is only your 3rd. Well, maybe I'm thinking about other little encounters
because we've been together.
Okay. Well, I can tell you're one of my favorite guests, and I'm glad to have you back now that there's video associated with the show, because we always have a really good time. Aren't they gorgeous? Just beautiful people. Just beautiful. So thank you for being here. Your heart is so beautiful. I heard you say, we're stronger together. Others first. I also heard you say, you're focused on leaving the earth better than how you found it. You're focused on helping those that you connect with, helping them to be better.
Sure, and because so many of us are, we all have friends who are hurting. We have friends who have something in their past that they're having trouble getting over and getting past, and it's held them up. And so if we can help that and get them where they want to go and help get them, the dream life that they would like to have. What better gift is that?
There is no better gift at all. And what I'm going to do is we're going to have Mike get ready to show the video of your book. And while he does that, your upcoming book. This is the media kit for the book that's called Twist the Throttle to Fuel Your Success. Tools to help get you further down your road. And so while we get Mike queued up and while I pull up the video, we're going to have Miss Diane, Lady Di, do a quick introduction of yourself. What would you tell someone who's struggling achieving a goal? I want to talk a little bit about. I'll let you answer that question if you're confused. Remember that goal you helped me with that I'm still working on right now? Remember the time last Christmas, we were together over some Banana Foster's French toast, and we called it a burning of the boat session.
That's right.
Because we were talking about me knowing that I need to lose some weight. And I was like, boy, I don't know if I said I'm going to miss the Banana Foster's French toast or if I just wanted some as my last burning of the boats, that reference, the explorer who found exactly, yes, who came to the New World. I wouldn't say he discovered it because clearly it was already there before he got there, but he came to the New World and his people were struggling. They were like, hey, this is hard work. I want to go back. And he's like, there's no going back. Those big ships that were sitting on the coastline, he basically burned the boats and said, we're not going back. See that mountain over there? We're going that way. We're fueling our success down that road. And I think that's really important for people to decide, right? And I think I knew intuitively that I needed to move forward, but I hadn't done the work. And you and I sat together, and I would say you were a kind soul.
You're so sweet.
As we talked about changing my life. And so I don't know if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then what tips and words of wisdom would you share with others? You guys are a partnering, duo,
We
a
do.
duo of success, a duo of success. Let's talk a little bit about that. And I'm gonna pull up this video and showcase your book.
For me and for where I started in my journey, it's all about making the decision. First, you have to decide what you want. And sometimes it's not right there on the surface. Sometimes you gotta dig deeper, So that's kind of, Bob came into my life and has pushed me outside of my comfort zone. When we first started, following Jack and stuff, he's like, hey, I want to go to this workshop. And I'm like, okay, well, go ahead, have fun. He's like, nope, I'm not doing it without you. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this, And he's like, well, I'm not going to do it without you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So we went and I fell in love. I was like, what? There's so many doors open when you give yourself permission to play full out, find out what you really want to do, where you want to go, and Bob teaches you the tools to how to get there. He's been my coach for 15 years. So, we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk,
I love it. When you say Bob, you don't mean Bob Palmer, you mean Bob Canfield.
I mean Bob Palmer.
Oh, Bob Palmer. Very good.
But the Jack she was talking.
Jack, thank you,
Jack Canfield.
Let's get it right. Thank you very much. We're going to show a video of Jack Canfield, who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. So you guys have been training with him for a while. And so is that the session that he took you to and you were like, whoa,
yes,
I'm in.
And then, just Bob giving me, the tools to go, hey, you can do anything you want to do. Only I put the box. I'm inside the box.
I love it.
So he has opened doors. He's taught me so many things that I wouldn't be here doing what I do now.
And now you help others as a couple, which I think is such a beautiful thing. You actually can provide a different perspective. I just think it's really beautiful. So before we talk much more about the book, I'm just going to play the video, if that's okay. Mike, let me know if you're ready. I got the thumbs up. I'm going to press play right now.
Are you going through life just barely hanging on? Hardly knowing where you're going and how to get there? Do you get slowed down and sometimes even paralyzed by the sheer speed and pressures of your life and your job? Do you feel stuck, unable to get where you want to go, unable to be who you want to be? This book teaches you how to set goals and achieve them. Learn how to take control of your life, decide where you want to go, and then actually get there. Discover valuable skills that will help you understand and break overwhelming pressures into pieces that you can manage. Twist the Throttle to Fuel Your Success by Bob Palmer with Diane Palmer. Grab your copy now.
All right. Wow. Now that is a promo. So basically, you have some information that you can share with the listening audience, how they can grab a free downloadable copy of the upcoming book.
Sure. If you want to go to twistthethrottlebook.com.
Twist
the Throttle.
TWIST,
Mm-hmm.
the THE. The word throttle is with two T's, THROTTLE. Twist the Throttle
Book.com.
book.com. How exciting. This is huge. And so what I'm excited to talk more about is this. We're just going to work from your media kit, basically. I know there's some we're going to talk more about some workshops that you have as well, but let's give people a little bit more of a taste of what kind of content they're going to learn about. So I know when you talk about life isn't about getting it perfect, it's about making progress. You and I have had this conversation numerous times. So as related to our burning of the boats session that we had over some Banana Foster's French toast, we were focused on making progress. And you were like, hey, have the Banana Foster's. But you were like, let's split the order, which we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was great is you also said, it was good. It really wasn't that great. Remember that? It was good. And it was like, wow. It felt really interesting to be trying to move forward. I'd have to be honest. What I'm doing right now feels very different than the place I was in then. Like to me, in order to have a burning of the boat session means, oh my God, I'm losing something. We're burning the boats. I'll never have Banana Foster's French toast again. It was like a whole drawn out scenario. Really? You got to burn the boat. We had 2 burning of the boat ceremonies, I think. I wasn't quite done.
Well, and that's what happens to so many people. You're not the only person.
Right.
That's why, how many people do you know? And I'll be one of them.
Yes.
How many diets have I been on? Because I didn't make
a full
commitment.
make
the decision, the commitment. It wasn't, it wasn't 100%.
Right.
And that's the difference.
That
the
is
difference
the difference.
is you have to be all in. That's why, and Di talked about it, where people don't reach their dreams. Most of the time, it's because they never decided. They never decided what they wanted. They just went through life and never thought about what they wanted. And that's why we love getting people back in touch with it. But
in touch with
you
their
have
own.
to decide. People don't decide.
Decide, people. Decide. And we talk about this. Decide, first of all, what your purpose is. Decide what your goals are. Right?
Well,
and what
you
do you
a lot of
want
times
to
you don't
do?
have to decide, but you have to find out what your purpose is. Because just because what you're doing
This is
may
so
not be
true.
your purpose. You're off purpose because you come home every night with a headache. You go in and you get anxiety. Well, that's feedback, and you're not paying attention.
I need a
to
high
it.
five on that one.
So
I do.
So your purpose may not be just what you're doing.
So can we pause and just talk a little bit more about that?
All right.
So, because you said it, we've talked about this before. For us, it's like, yeah. Because we're both living on purpose right now. But a lot of people aren't. So let's just back up a little bit, repeat what you just said, and let's just talk a little bit about how do people know when they're on purpose? Like you said, maybe they don't know. It's really about what you feel. Oprah talks about it in her book as well. She actually talks about there's a knowing. There's a piece. There's probably 10 other books that I've brought to this show as well that talk about when you're on purpose, how to find it. Deepak's 7 laws of spiritual success. Law number 7 is the concept of dharma, right? Finding your purpose in life is what he calls it. Dharma is, like I said, finding your purpose. And I would say, Bob, high performance coach that you are, if I came to you and I wasn't currently living on purpose and I was like, that sounds great, but how do I do it? What would you tell me?
I have exercises. We have
Matter of fact,
exercises
look,
that we run people through.
Let's talk about
That lets you talk about, hey, if you were going to do this, what would, when everything's going this way,
Yes.
what are the words that would describe that to you? What, for you, what does that sound like?
Talk to our
Boom, boom,
audience,
boom. So
Bob.
we do that.
Give them an exercise, Bob. This is interactive. People tuned in. They tuned in to change some things.
Well, I didn't bring the exercise
No,
with
but
me,
just give me an idea.
so
What
I don't
question?
have that. Well,
what
that's what I'm
question would you ask me?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a series of questions.
Just start with
That's
one.
why
Give
I
me-
don't have it.
give me
Would
one.
be like when everything's really working for you.
Yes.
When it's flowing. If you remember a time in your life, go back to when everything just worked and it was just
I love
kind
it.
of automatic. What
I
was
love
that
it.
like?
And what were you
Or
doing?
what would it feel like now? If you've never had that, what would it, if you could say, man, if I could have this, I would be, it would be easy, it would be flowing, it would be automatic, it would be, and then, how would you feel if you had that? So we combine a bunch of things
I love
to
it.
say, all right, what is it? And if you could do anything, if money was not a problem,
Yes.
time was not a problem,
Yes.
where you're at's not a problem. There's no limits.
No limits.
Again, when I was teaching high school, I would tell the kids, and I told my own kids, the fences that keep you fenced in, those are the ones you put up.
Now, you're right.
After you're 18,
It's this kind
you
of
don't
wisdom,
have-
people. This
you don't have fences. But before we're 18, there's only, our parents have things we can do. And unless you're in the military or unless you're in prison, you don't have limitations. Those limits that keep you boxed in, those are your limitations. You put those on yourself. So you bust those down as best you can, and then you start deciding what it is what is your purpose. It's not something that you decide, but you discover.
You discover.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a process. It's a process.
And it may take you a while.
And it takes time
Yeah.
and it takes work. And you have to put in the time and effort.
I love that. I love that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about a workshop that you have. Do you want to talk about it get people excited about, because again, we're saying it's a process. There's work that needs to happen to discover your purpose, to if you know your goal, but you're still not there. There's a workshop that you guys have, Bob. There's a 6-week workshop if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's and I don't know if I'd call it a workshop. Is in my mind is a little bit different, where you go someplace and you do it. This one we're doing online. So you could be anywhere. You can be in your bunny slippers and take
I
part
do
in
have
this.
bunny slippers,
There you go. It's
actually. I'm
perfect.
in, Bob.
It's perfect. So this is it's a 6-week,
Okay.
and it's designed around for people who have never had a coach, but they've thought about I should get a coach, but a lot of people having a coach, it's like somebody's going to expect me to do things.
I mean, a
Somebody's
little
gonna
accountability.
Hold me accountable.
That's kind of the point.
And that's probably very,
Oh.
very expensive. And we talk ourselves out of it already. We haven't even done it. We haven't even found it. And we've
Haven't even
I can't
explored
do
the
that.
options.
I don't have time.
Fences. Is that a fence?
Do you know how busy I am? You know,
Right.
I have got, I must have 6 hours
Kids.
of TV I have to watch a day, and which is the average, which means some people watch more than 6.
I don't even have cable in my house.
That is crazy.
That's how I can write 3 books. It's
So-
because I don't have cable.
So anyway, we have our next training that's coming up is starting on August 5th,
Okay.
and it's Mondays, every Monday at I think we're going to keep it at 11 o'clock.
Sure.
11 o'clock, starting on August 5th.
I like how
every
Lady D's
Monday.
in charge. When are we doing this, darling?
Well, because we had talked about maybe moving it, but 11 o'clock Pacific
Okay.
is the time we're going to do that, and it's a group coaching, and it's just it's a what I like to consider it's a soft entrance into coaching to see what it's like and how far can you go. Now, you can't learn everything you're going to learn in 6 weeks from 6 hours of just good content,
Right.
and there'll be some homework.
Love it.
And I
think
mean, when I talk homework, it's like 20 minutes.
like
And
to think about, to
it's,
do.
yeah,
to
and there's
kinda
no
write
wrong
out.
answers.
Exactly.
It's
It's
just
your own,
how
kind of
does
tilling your
yeah,
own
it's all
soil,
about you.
right?
And
Yes.
where do you want to go, and how do you want to get better?
I love this.
And how much do you want to get better?
I
So
love this.
we talk about goals, we talk about taking responsibilities. We have a lot of people think they have goals. In fact, we had some dear friends of ours have a daughter who was willing to take us to the airport long time, probably a year ago or something like that. Anyway, she knew the work that we do, so she was excited because she's very friendly. We love her. She's adorable, and so we got to talking on the way to the airport about what's going on, and then she mentioned that she had goals. So I said, of course, she didn't realize she's playing right into my hands. But, I said, well, that's great. So many people think they have them, but they actually don't. I said, so you have yours written down? She said, no. I said, well, that's the trick. Those aren't goals. Those are dreams. The difference between a dream and a goal is a goal has a timeline. I have a dream. I want to go to Greece someday. Di and I are going to go to Greece. It's a dream right now because we don't have a timeline on it. We have not said that we're going to go to Greece by a certain time. As soon as you put a timeline on it, now it's a goal. And then if you write it down, and here's the other trick, but just by writing it down, you've increased your chances of actually accomplishing that by 1,100%.
1,100%.
It's crazy.
It is insane.
People don't write things down, and then they wonder why they don't get them. 92%. The estimates are the latest thing I just read like 2 weeks ago. 92% of people don't reach their goals. 92%.
That's crazy.
That's a
and I
crazy
know
number.
what I love about you and the work that we do that's so similar is this concept of visualization. We've had that. We know how important it is to write it down. And then you bring pictures to it. This concept of affirmations. We're going to talk about those things a little bit too, right? Because if you have a goal, right, in order to achieve that goal, you want to be able to see it, right? Feel it. Think about how good you're going to feel when this, I didn't tell you the story. You're going to love this. So I have officially trademarked the term success sack.
Okay.
So this is my success sack full of love. That's what roll number 1 is. Belly roll number 2 is. And back fat belly roll number 3. These are success sacks. And my goal is to turn my success sacks into a 6-pack by the end of this year.
So at 5 p.m., December 31st.
Now, it may not be quite a 6-pack by that point in time, but it's definitely not going to be the same size success sack. How about that? I will be making progress to reduce my success sacks and turn them into a 6-pack. So by December 31st. So between June and that's exactly 6 months, right? So my goal is I started this intermittent fasting because the next thing is when you have a goal and you have a timeline, then you're like, how are you going to do that? You talk about, turning things into these bite-sized chunks, being very clear on the how. So
No, we don't care about the how.
Please tell me.
We care about the what.
What are you going to do?
You decide what you want to do.
Yes.
The how will take care of itself. It's
Sometimes.
the what. People don't decide what they want to do.
That is
they
very,
don't decide,
very important.
what number you want to get down to weight-wise. You don't,
Yes.
we don't do those. Don't worry about the how.
Well, I have to
will
worry
show up.
about the how a little bit.
You have,
but
no.
I have to. I
Let
personally
me
need
put
to
it this way:
plan.
with multiple burning of the boats, it's still the what. You're still deciding on the. You have to sell yourself on the what, not the how.
So let me just tell you what happened. I didn't fill you guys in on the on the transition.
Yeah.
So my what transition because you guys know Brene Brown, some of her writings, or she's written some books and she talks about the stories we tell ourselves. And so as it related to my weight loss, I used to say, success for me, because I grew up relatively poor. So success for me was being able to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, because basically I used to have to eat food I didn't like. And so I worked for 8 years at IBM, 14 years at Disney and my last 5 years at Microsoft, because that's what success meant. I had to make enough money to be able to do what I wanted, including eat what I wanted, celebrate with food. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't really do any miscellaneous shenanigans, right? But I love to eat. My burning of the boat was like a culinary orgasm. I mean, basically, like I was like, was it not?
Yeah.
Was I like, It's shenanigans. So what I realized is, oh, okay. So I used to tell myself this story. Success means being able to eat whatever you want, whenever you want. Well, that story served me to get through college. I mean, I had straight A's. I didn't really try, like I progressed through life, in what people might consider a relatively successful way, right? But to your point, there was no peace in, being at Microsoft, making $200,000 a year and realizing this is not my purpose. This is not what I was put on this earth to do, right? So that was success. But what serves me now is actually helping others to achieve their goals, helping people to be comfortable in their own authentic self, not feeling like they have to be someone else. Sure. Right? Or to live someone else's dream or someone else's definition of success. No, success is being your best self, right? So now I'm living my dream. Now when I think about success and I think about my success sack, that story served me well. Then I've now redefined success. So success now is basically demonstrating, and how I have in so many other ways, how our minds can control our destiny. Like I get to decide. To your point, what did you say? I love the way you said it. Ms. Dye, you said when you give yourself permission to play full out. I'm playing full out. I just laid out my belly rolls on national TV, upper, lower, and the back fat belly roll. I did something called a DEXA scan, which I'm going to bring in on another show, so I don't have to necessarily accent the fat rolls like this every time, because I do wear loose clothes, so normally I would never do that. But in order to be courageous, to achieve a goal in life, you got to put it out there. Brene talks about the stories we tell ourselves. Like if you can't face a thing, you can't fix a thing, right? So long story short, my success sack will be moving closer to a six-pack, and I will just do that every day, and I'll decide what that looks like for me. So because I'm a project manager as well, right? In my brain, the what is step one. You talk about biting. You talk about in your book.
Chunking it down.
Chunking it down, baby.
Right,
So
right.
in my mind, I'm talking chunking it down. So tell us about chunking it down. We've made the goal. We've identified what we want to do. Talk about chunking it down.
Well, so often we have, and most of us
I need to lose 100 pounds, so let's chunk it down.
I was just going to say, most of us have big goals.
Big goals, 100 pounds.
And a lot of times, our big goals scare us.
I'm not scared.
But they do. They scare us. You have this big goal, and then you're excited, and you go after it, and a week and 2 weeks, and next thing you know, you're not making the progress that you wanted, because we expect perfection. We don't look for progress. We don't celebrate our wins. I walked by the donuts twice today, and I didn't grab one. We don't celebrate
Woo! That is a success.
And that's a win. We need to celebrate our wins.
So slow down, Bob, because you and I have had this conversation before. And what I love about you more than anything else is we've had the conversation, but there are people watching who are like, okay, that's good. I like it, but I want to slow down because it's all good stuff, and it's all, it's all Bob.
No
so
worries.
basically you said people get excited. They get scared. Weeks pass. Weeks pass.
And then
they sometimes they're doing the right thing.
The decision we made starts to fade, and we don't. Well, I was gonna do this, but I'm. And then next thing you know, the goal fades because the decision, we're not sold on the decision as much as we were, and next thing you know, the goal goes away, and now we don't have anything. We forgot we made the decision, and we forgot about the goal, and now our habits keep us stuck.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go. The reason this is my personal project, which is why I had to put this out there. Like I can write about it all day long, but until I'm actually doing something that's big, right, and demonstrating how we can change our habits, right. So let's talk about habits, sir. Okay. How does one break a habit? How does one change? How does one move toward achieving their goals? You're chunking it. Let's talk a bit more about that. How do you not let the decisions fade?
There's a couple of ways, but when we talk about, let's stay with the chunking it down.
Please.
So the one thing, it's like, you may have heard before, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time,
one bite
baby.
at a time.
Right.
Well, as long as you're doing that, you're making progress. So you break that into this big goal. So let's say we're losing 100 pounds. Okay, so maybe losing 100 pounds in 6 months maybe isn't really reasonable.
Oh, I didn't think I would be
even-
done at that
or-
point in time.
yeah,
but
or
but
healthy. So then we
Yes.
decide, okay, so what is reasonable and what is healthy? Because I
Yes.
still want to be reasonable, and I definitely want to stay healthy.
I want some healthy habits.
So
by
if you-
that time, I should be running on autopilot
Right.
by that point in time. That's all I'm saying. Like this should be
Because-
a new
because-
lifestyle should be formed by December. I may still have a little something going on here, but my lifestyle will be changed so that it's just a matter of time. Does that make sense?
Sure. And then
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're changing habits that are not serving us well.
Exactly.
That are not bringing us where we want to go. We have to exchange those out for new habits. Because if you have we have a hole, and it's the same thing. It's like if you got a hole in your garage, you're going to fill it with something unless you redo the whole thing.
Right.
So we just have to get a new habit that serves us well.
Yes.
And it takes a minimum 30 days to start a habit.
Yes.
So you have to do this for 30 days. And if you take a day off, you got to start your 30 again.
Did you hear that, people? Let's pause real quick there, because I think this is the most important part. This is the most important part of my book, which is the reason I said book 1 was done, Our Journey, Our Dreams, the art and science of being aware and getting there. You were on the show for 2 years. The book, it's amazing, I have to admit. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about the concept. It's an anthology. So of all the books I've read, my top 100 books, I've narrowed it down to my favorite 40, that I've metabolized, that are like part of who I am. Hey, you can't just talk it, you got to walk it. So this is the sister girl pressing pause to say, let me walk out all of these things. Let me break some habits that I have. How dare I, right, put it out there, without actually doing it. And so that's why I'm not ashamed. Let me close this down, Mike, for a second. Sorry. That's why I'm not ashamed to put the big belly fat out there and lay it on the table, literally. Literally, right? I'm not ashamed, because it's like that's the definition of courage. Courage is deciding. Brene Brown was talking about courage being deciding, that you're going to put something out there, identify what your goals are, and you can't just say it publicly for the heck of it. You got to say it publicly for the point of helping others, basically, right? Not sure what the outcome is going to be. Like, I could be here 6 months from now saying, well, what had happened was.
Well,
Won't happen,
Yeah.
because I am so, like, it's not even a question in my mind now, because there was no burning of the boats. I didn't have to burn any boats. I decided what success is. I'm quite successful in the things that I want. Eating what I want whenever I want it. Congratulations. Mission accomplished. That's why I'm calling them success sacks, because that was my definition of success.
Sure.
So now my new definition of success is really demonstrating to other people that we have everything we need to change our life in whatever way we need to. It's all up here.
Right.
It's all in the decisions. It's in the habits. It's in one of the other things you said was celebrating success, celebrating those wins every day, doing something that will move you toward your goals.
Right. Because we can be so critical of ourselves. Our negative talk just internally just stifles us and crushes us. People don't realize that how much our unconscious self listens to us. And we tell ourselves, you knucklehead. Oh, geez, you're no good at this. You don't.
Right.
And we
can't do
believe that. Our subconscious believes anything you tell it.
That's that neuro-linguistic
it can't
programming,
decide
right?
yes or no.
Right.
It only believes. That's all it does. So when we have to just stop our negative talk, because we're auguring ourselves into the ground.
I love it. So, Mike, I'm gonna put this handsome gentleman on the spot. So just go ahead and give me a nice tight shot on him, because I'm gonna have you tell us a little bit more about what people can expect from you when they are, on this journey to change a thing, right? So now I'm gonna have you counsel me as a high performance coach.
Okay.
I'm gonna get ready to pull up our promo, our commercial. So I'm gonna have him focus on you, and if you can tell the audience, how do they really move toward their goal? You just said chunking it, celebrate success, right? We're talking about, what is the name of the book again? Sorry.
Twist the throttle to fuel your success.
Tools to help you get further down the road.
Right.
So someone's come to you now and they're like, Bob, help me, high performance coach.
Okay.
Help me. What do I need to do? Keep talking. But like give
Sure.
us the sound bite that someone can play over and over in their head right now. Give me some affirmations because you just said something about negative self-talk. What people, if someone is talking to themselves negatively, I need you to be the positive self-talk right now. Coach me up. Pump that person up right now so they're going to be able to watch this part of the clip to say whatever that goal is. Give us your high performance coach pep talk, as it were, success strategies, as it were. Give me the nutshell of all those things that we need to hear right now, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things, and one of them is just awareness.
Okay.
Awareness brings us a whole new world. It just opens up the light. So if as soon as you're aware of things that you say, and you start realizing, oh, I do say that to myself. Oh, I am saying that now to myself. That's when you start stopping that because you're aware of it. We can't stop anything that we're not aware of.
You can't fix a thing if you can't face the thing.
If you don't know you're doing it, you can't make any difference in it. So awareness is the first start of that. And then as soon as you become aware, that's when we start working on things. That's when you decide, I would like a coach. And a lot of us have never had a coach since we were in high school, and we had a sports coach maybe. And some people never played sports, so they don't know anything about a coach.
Mm-hmm.
But a coach is somebody who comes alongside you, who cares about you, and helps you see things that you don't see. They help you become aware of things that need to be. And there's certain things that we talk about. Certainly, when we're doing high performance coaching, there's we talk about psychology, we talk about your physiology, your productivity. You want to be high performance.
Mm-hmm.
You think about any high performers, whether they're Musk or they're Usher, whatever industry they might be in, if they're high performers, they're Bill Gates, they're whoever it is. You think about Walt Disney, who isn't with us again. But to build Disneyland and to build Disney World, that's a high performer. That stuff doesn't just happen unless you are driven.
He was very intentional. We talk about being intentional as well. Awareness is key. That's why my first book is called, and the first show that you were on, again, Our Journey, Our Dreams, the art and science of being aware and then getting there. And your book is really about getting there. So you talk about awareness, but you also give people the tools to get there, to get further down the road.
Right, because we need tools. I mean, there's so many times that, unfortunately, they don't teach us tools in school.
They not these type.
No, they teach us how to learn things and then how to regurgitate it back. But now you get out, you graduate high school and you're like, holy smokes, I have to get a job and I have to do, and it's totally different things than what we learned in high school. And even college will do that. Some people stay in college because it's scary out there.
The real world. Heaven forbid.
Maybe there's another degree I could get, And so it's all about discovering what we need to know to be, again, successful. And success is different. It might be relationships. It might be money. It might be careers. It might be things. So, we have to decide what we want. And what we decide is success for us. But we also need to know and have tools to get there because we don't have them. We just naturally don't have those.
I love
a lot of it wasn't taught in school either.
Yeah.
So, when are you going to learn? It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to step into your greatness, step into your power. You don't.
She's good.
You forget.
She's good.
And when you realize that you have more power in you, you have more control, you can do anything. You can do anything. So you got to start somewhere. You just have to want it. You have to want the change.
More than you want the thing that you're doing, which is not accruing to that particular change.
You bet. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is, again, it's in your mind. It starts in your head.
100%.
You have to decide whether you're losing weight, whether you want that next position at work,
start
whether
your own
you want
business,
to start your business, whatever it is. You have
be
to
a
decide.
better
It's
parent.
Still deciding.
Right. Be a better wife or husband.
Be a better partner. You bet.
Right.
And you may not know how to do that, but as soon as you start acting like that, acting as if, let's
Can
say,
I give you a high five?
You start
Act
acting
as
that
if.
way. Act as if.
Already happened.
You
Right.
start being that person. That's
Mm.
when you have a big enough goal, and if your goals aren't scaring you, they're not big enough.
I love that part of your book. You call them the big hairy. What's that word? Did you?
Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yes,
The BHAG.
the BHAG. There you go. The BHAG. If they're not scaring you, they're not big enough.
Yeah, they're not big enough. Then that wasn't a stretch for you. And you need things that stretch you, because the other part of
I
that,
love it.
and it's very possible that you may never reach that big, audacious, that BHAG
Right.
out there. You may never get there. But here's the cool part.
There's a cool
In
part.
the process of going after it, you become somebody different.
Exactly.
You become somebody worth becoming. You change who you are.
Did you hear that, people? You
that's-
become the thing you're going after. So what I really want us to ping on a little bit is this concept of act as if. And you're so beautiful. And you said it's never too late. So
No.
act as if. I talk about that in my book as well. And I actually created a term that I've trademarked called intuitive theatrics, right? It's like, it's intuitive. Act it out. So let's talk a little bit about act as if, right? So if I had to, I'm acting like someone who is trying to lose weight now, not someone who's lamenting over Banana Foster's French toast. It's hilarious to me, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it on the show, because the further you get down the road, you don't even remember being the person who needed to have a culinary orgasm over some Banana Foster's French toast. And you know, I enjoy eating. I now enjoy eating. I was eating some strawberries and having a culinary orgasm. I brought some with me. And I say that word because it's like, I love to eat. I don't have to not love to eat. I just
No,
got to
no, no.
choose foods that are going to accrue to the goal that I want.
Absolutely.
My
Right.
new goal is not making enough money to eat what I want, do what I want. No, my new goal is to help other people and demonstrate this big BHAG. This is the BHAG right here. This is a big, hairy, audacious goal, right? And so I just want to build habits and teach people that if I can do it, you can do it, right? I mean, I'm putting it out there. Right.
Because so many of our habits, and we kind of touched on it, but so many of our habits aren't serving us.
I
And
love that.
they're not, and, you know, the other thing that I like to talk about with people is, what's it costing you? What is this costing you? And somebody, and we'll go back to the coaching thing. People are like, geez, it costs money to be coached. But what's it costing you not to be coached?
Oh, I love that.
What if you spent, you know, we'll pick it up. What if you spent $1,000 to get coached this year, and you got the $20,000 raise? Are you telling me that wasn't worth it? What's not being coached?
Well, I can
costing
tell you, not being intentionally.
You know, what's not dropping the weight? What's not getting the raise? What's
love
not performing at work? What's not being the best that you can be? What's that costing you?
I love you. I cannot believe we only have 10 minutes left. So let me tell you how we end the show. Because it goes so fast and furious, I like to come to the end, and I call it Surrender and Soar. So we're going to play this video from Jack Canfield, this
All right.
promotional video. Since Mike, are we going to be ready for that? Awesome. So we're going to play the video.
He was
gonna
kind enough to make that for me.
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about Jack Canfield,
Well,
the work you're doing.
Well, I
Let's
was
set
trained
us
with.
up a little bit.
I've been trained with several people. Jack Canfield is one of them.
Okay.
And he has
The Jack Canfield. People may not know.
right.
Yes.
Chicken Soup for the Soul. Jack.
And he's
Canfield.
written how many chicken soups for the soul? There's a chicken soup for the.
I think there's 245 titles, as I recall.
I
Something
love
like
that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually writing my book in volumes, almost like what he did. So Our Journey, Our Dreams, The Art and Science of Being Aware and Getting There, Volume 1, is basically, going to be the chicken soup of the soul type concept, right? And then Bigger Than Me, Volume 1, that's coming out, and it'll have the kind of the focus, the tagline, because there's so many journeys. Like as I interview amazing people, right? It's like they will continue to live on, right?
Mm-hmm.
These aren't going to be, Bible-sized books, right? These are books where you can get in, get some lessons, change your life, and keep it moving. Which I like that. So Jack Canfield, we're going to play this video. We got 8 minutes left in the show, 7 according to Mike. So this is a 2-minute video. When we come back, we're going to have people ready for our Surrender and Soar moment, which is where we're going to talk about the recap of those lessons learned. We're sending people off to change their life. So you guys get ready for that. We're going to play the video. Mike, you ready? And then we're going to come back, guys, with a recap and get people focused. You guys will be back, of course. But here we go. We got Jack Canfield. Any setup?
No, it'll work.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Jack Canfield, America's #1 success coach and the author of numerous New York Times best-selling books, including Chicken Soup for the Soul series and most recently, The Success Principles, How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And today I want to take some time to tell you a little bit about my friend, an amazing trainer, Bob Palmer. Bob is a certified Canfield trainer in the Canfield methodology, which is the highest level of certification that I offer. Now, Bob has spent countless hours learning, teaching the proven methods of the success principles so that he can facilitate greater success for individuals and groups around the world. And by becoming a certified Canfield trainer in the Canfield methodology, Bob has demonstrated that he has intensely studied the material, applied it to his own life and his teaching, and is now equipped to be teaching this powerfully transformative work to you or your organization. Now, Bob first became a student of mine over 10 years ago when he first saw a talk I had done for the Microsoft Corporation. And since then, Bob has not only continued as a student of mine, but has started assisting at many of my events as well. And through working with him, I've been able to see his tremendous passion for this work shine through. It's one of the things that I love most about Bob. His passion and his enthusiasm for helping people create the lives they truly want is evident in all of his interactions and his teaching. Now, Bob is also an award-winning editor and has been in the video production and broadcast industry his entire career. Through this work, Bob has used his creative abilities and his leadership skills to train and manage teams from TV stations to entire production houses. Bob also offers dynamic keynote speeches as well as public and private training. His life purpose is to inspire, help, teach, and encourage others to be all that they can be in a context of love and joy. And Bob and his wife Diane have recently co-authored a book titled Twist the Throttle to Fuel Your Success, which is full of great tools to help you on your journey to maximum success. So whatever your needs, if you're looking for a higher level of success, accountability, or simply living a more joyful and fulfilled life.
That was awesome. Wow. Jack Canfield in the house. OMG. That's quite an endorsement.
Yeah, he was great. I've
Got some technical issues there, so we'll bring you back and play it a little cleaner, but that was awesome.
Yeah. I've run his audio at his high-end trainings for last couple of years, and he's
awesome.
been he was sweet enough to do that for me. So,
That's
We
awesome.
were just
In
with
fact,
Jack
we-
last weekend, yeah,
That's right.
in Portland for his One Day to Greatness.
Yeah, so we
So,
invited us back.
pull that a little bit closer and tell us, what did you learn? The whole thing comes to you. So tell us, the One Day to Greatness, what did you learn in that one?
Oh, geez, you're always learning something with Jack.
What would you share with the audience? Not necessarily what did you learn new, but what would you share with this audience in our last few minutes?
Again, I think it's deciding what you want and not being afraid to go out there and make that happen. And whether you get a coach or whether you take an online course, you just need to start.
Take action.
You need to take action.
Nothing happens until we start. We don't get to the store unless we get ourselves off the couch, get in the car, and go to the store. Nothing happens without action, and we don't realize that. It takes us to decide. It starts like Di said. First you decide, and then it's the action that gets the results. No action, no results.
So I love that, people. That's how we're going to close this show. We're focused on actions. I heard you say act as if. Act as if. Tell us a little bit more about acting as if and doing what serves you, what feels right, what's going to accrue to your goals.
Well, acting as if it changes who you are. It changes. So if you want to be, let's say you decide you want to be a school teacher, or let's say you want to own your own business. Well, you have to then start acting as if. Find people who will help you if you don't know what it is. You want to be a model or something. Well, watch
I'm
models.
on that path.
Find out what it is. What is it how do they walk? Where do they get trained? Start acting and being
as if.
What is it? If you just act as if it change. If maybe you need to change your dress code. Maybe you need to change who you hang with in school. Remember, we're the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with.
So check yourself, people. Make sure you're hanging out with people who are where you want to be.
Yeah,
People
if you're a C kid in school, you're probably hanging with the C kids.
Or D's.
You need to find the A kids. You need to hang with them because they study different than you. They're not smarter than you necessarily.
No.
They
Right.
just have better habits than you have.
I
you
love
need
that.
to change your habits.
I love that. And that was one of the things you said. We got 1 minute left in the show. And I know for me, when you talk about, finding the right habits that serve you, can you please remind us again, how can they find you? There's a 6-week.
We've got August 5th. We start our next round of 6 weeks of coaching, and we're going to offer. It's a $99 deal. It's $16.50 a week, but we're going to give $20 discount till midnight tonight for anybody who's listening to the show. So you get us at bob@palmermotivation.com.
bob@palmermotivation.com. I am so glad to have you guys here on the video version of the show, and I promise to have you back again. This is Traci Harrell, and you are listening to It's Bigger Than Me, and guess what? You get to change your destiny. So go out there and act as if. We'll talk to you next week. Traci Harrell, Bigger Than Me.
Bigger than me.